Have you ever wondered why anger sometimes feels unavoidable, but never actually solves anything? It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, hoping it'll put it out. Most of us grew up thinking that anger is a sign of strength, but what if that's one of the biggest lies we've ever been told? Sadhguru gets straight to the point. Feeling angry isn't just unproductive, it's like choosing to be foolish when clarity is exactly what you need. And here's the kicker. The solution isn't about suppressing or ignoring anger. Instead, it's about transforming it into something that truly works in your favor. Curious to know how? It's interesting how people spend hours perfecting their outer world, but completely overlook their inner universe. Sadhguru points out that balancing these two worlds is the key to impactful and transformative actions. Picture an architect trying to build a house without a blueprint. That's exactly what we do when we act without first working on our inner self. To align these worlds, he suggests practicing inner engineering, a process that goes way beyond meditation. It's about reorganizing your thoughts and emotions so that your mind becomes your ally, not your enemy. Big projects, like social impact initiatives, often come from deep inner experiences. Take Sadhguru's work in India, for example. Large-scale reforestation, education, and health programs driven by dedicated volunteers. What motivates them? It's not a paycheck, but a sense of spiritual fulfillment that comes from inner work. Have you ever thought about what you could accomplish if you were truly at peace with yourself? Maybe what feels impossible today could become just your next step. So, the big question is, how can this inner and outer harmony be achieved? Sadhguru says the secret lies in paying attention to your daily habits, like starting the day with intention. Something as simple as meditating for 10 minutes or writing down your priorities can shift your inner dynamics, and that change ripples into your external actions. After all, what you create out there is a reflection of what's happening inside you. Speaking of creating, imagine bringing purpose even to acts of service. When you hear the word volunteering, what comes to mind? Maybe acts of kindness or noble gestures. But according to Sadhguru, true volunteering goes much deeper. He talks about thousands of people dedicating themselves to causes like health, education, and the environment, not out of obligation, but because of a spiritual fulfillment they've discovered. These people don't need material rewards because they've found something bigger: purpose. Just imagine waking up every day knowing your actions are making a real impact. In India, there's an incredible movement where volunteers are transforming entire communities with sustainable projects. From planting trees to providing free education, these actions are driven by inner motivation, not paychecks. Have you ever thought about what you could do if you followed a similar path? Maybe it's teaching something you're good at, donating a few hours a week, or simply listening to someone who needs it. Every small action connects to something much greater. What's even more fascinating is how this kind of volunteering transforms the people who do it. You realize that by helping the world, you're also helping yourself. Think about how small gestures can create a positive cycle. By giving, you gain clarity, peace, and even renewed energy. Now, imagine the impact if more people embraced this practice. Speaking of impact, have you ever thought about the connection between your inner state and how you deal with negative emotions, like anger? Have you noticed how anger can drain your energy? Sadhguru describes anger as a form of self-poisoning, something that harms you more than the person you're upset with. He explains it like this: holding on to anger is like gripping a hot coal, expecting the other person to get burned. It makes sense when you think about the physical and mental toll it takes: high blood pressure, emotional exhaustion, even sleepless nights. And what do we get from it? Nothing. Now imagine the opposite. Instead of reacting in anger, you respond with clarity. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but understanding them before acting. Sadhguru suggests a simple practice: The next time you feel anger bubbling up, pause for 30 seconds and take a deep breath. It sounds easy, but that small pause can completely change the outcome of a situation. After all, who's really in control of your mind, you or your emotions? Try it, and you might find it transforms even the tensest moments. It's funny how we often justify anger, believing it gives us power. But the truth is, anger doesn't solve problems, it just creates new ones. Imagine an angry boss trying to lead a team. The result is chaos, not productivity. So, how can we avoid falling into this trap? By investing in self-awareness and practicing daily meditation, you can create space between a trigger and your reaction. And that brings us to another thought. How can traditions help bring clarity to our lives? Traditions can be an anchor for our identity, but they can also become chains that hold us back. Sadhguru explains that many people follow traditions blindly, without questioning their purpose or relevance. It's like using an old map in a world that has completely changed. He challenges us not to limit ourselves to inherited beliefs, but to explore the meaning behind them. After all, what's the point of a tradition if it doesn't resonate with your life experience? This doesn't mean abandoning everything old, but bringing clarity to what you practice. Imagine someone following a religious ritual without understanding why. How different would it be if they tried to grasp the meaning behind it? Traditions can be inspiring, but only when they connect to your reality. Here's a practical example. If you recite mantras or read scriptures, try applying them to your daily life. Turn words into meaningful actions. Sadhguru emphasizes that real transformation comes from direct experience, not blind acceptance. When you explore something for yourself, you gain a clarity that no tradition can provide. It's like feeling the water before deciding to dive in. This approach also applies to how we use our intellect. How far can logical analysis really take us? And what are its limits in the search for deeper understanding? The human intellect is a powerful tool, but it has its boundaries. Sadhguru points out that while logical analysis is essential, it's not enough to grasp the deeper aspects of life, like the inner self. It's like trying to measure the wind with a ruler. You simply don't have the right tool. Many people get stuck thinking everything needs to be proven, forgetting that some experiences, like love or peace, can't be put under a microscope. Picture someone trying to understand the meaning of life by only reading books or academic articles. Sure, that information is valuable, but true understanding comes from lived experiences. Sadhguru suggests that instead of dissecting everything with the intellect, we take time to sit in silence and observe life. For example, spend 10 minutes a day simply feeling your breath or noticing your surroundings without judgment. These small moments can reveal more than any philosophical debate. But this isn't about rejecting the intellect, it's about recognizing its limits. Use it to solve practical problems, but don't expect it to explain the unexplainable. This is where the importance of exploring beyond the visible or tangible comes into play. And this naturally leads to a reflection on cultural beliefs, often shaped more by social norms than personal clarity. How do these beliefs influence our worldview and our understanding of the divine? Cultural beliefs often shape how we see the world, but have you ever stopped to question where they come from? Sadhguru explains that our ideas about spirituality and divinity are often molded by social norms rather than personal experiences. It's like wearing someone else's glasses. They might work, but they'll never fit your vision perfect. He challenges us not to simply accept what we've been taught, but to seek clarity for ourselves. Think about it. How many times have you followed something just because that's what everyone does? Whether it's a spiritual practice, a family tradition, or even a daily routine, there's always room to question. Sadhguru suggests a simple exercise. Take a few minutes to write down your deepest beliefs and ask yourself where they come from. Are they truly yours, or were they inherited? This kind of introspection can be the first step toward building a life aligned with who you really are. The problem with inherited beliefs is that they often build walls instead of bridges. When you operate with clarity, instead of blind beliefs, you create space for deeper connections with others and with yourself. This makes you wonder, what does it really mean to live in peace? Is it just the absence of conflict, or is it something deeper, like an internal state of harmony? Maybe this is worth reflecting on as we explore the relationship between peace and tension in our lives. Peace is often seen as a luxury in a world filled with tension. Sadhguru jokes that in places like the Middle East, where conflict is constant, peace has become the most valuable greeting. But beneath the humor lies an important truth. Why is peace so hard to achieve? He explains that it's not about the external world, but the inner chaos. After all, how can you create peace around you if your own mind is at war with itself? To bring peace into your daily life, Sadhguru recommends starting with small practices. Here's an easy one. Instead of reacting automatically to external pressures, take a moment to observe how you feel. Try something as simple as enjoying a cup of tea while taking deep breaths, fully noticing the flavor and the present moment. This kind of mindfulness might seem small, but it can ease the tension that builds up throughout the day. What's fascinating is that peace isn't just the absence of problems. It's an active state of clarity and balance. When you're at peace, decisions become easier, and your actions are more effective. But is this something you can learn, or is it a skill already within you, waiting to be unlocked? Perhaps the answer lies in how you balance your quest for inner peace with your actions in the outer world. So, are you ready to change how you handle anger? Remember, staying calm isn't a sign of weakness. It's a mark of self-mastery and intelligence. What would happen if you chose clarity over chaos every time anger came up? Maybe your relationships would improve, your goals would become clearer, and your life would feel lighter. It's up to you to decide whether you'll keep reacting impulsively or take the next step toward growth. Drop a comment below sharing how you handle tense situations and what you plan to change moving forward. And if you're eager to dive deeper into teachings like this, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for content that can truly transform your life. The journey starts now. Are you ready to take the first step?